We have our final essay submission due this week. What could possibly have happened between this essay and the last one, where my professor had to make not just one, not just two, but 6 different reminders to not use AI?
ChatGPT, the AI source, has had some difficulties this week. And why do you think that's happening in December, nearing the end of the academic semester? Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm the eldest Gen Z. We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers, so be sure to hit that like button and subscribe.
And allegedly, ChatGPT is down because there's a large influx of users because it is finals week. People are saying that they have failed their finals because of ChatGPT. I'm like, okay, they use ChatGPT to study. No, people are like, it went down right in the middle of my final exam. Answering the questions on your final as you're taking your final using ChatGPT. What the happened to studying?
Any guesses?
Everything is AI generated.
I don't want us to be a generation of people who just don't try. I feel like going on to an AI source as your first step is ill-advised. There are people who are getting through school by their own merit. Saying that though, do I have some fears about the future? Do I think this problem may continue to get worse? Unfortunately, I do.
I think hands-on stuff is great, but I think there's a balance. And I think that we're really setting up kids to just not know anything. And I think that a lot of them have just turned into really good cheaters. Because when I was talking to my students who told me I love your class because you explain this stuff, I asked them, I was like, so in your science class, when they give you a project about something, but you don't understand that thing, what do you do? And all of them said, oh, I just go on ChatGPT, or oh, I just copy it off the internet and I usually get 100. And I really don't want it to sound like I'm blaming teachers, because I feel like we just got in this boat because we got shoved in a corner and told what to do.
My personal perspective right now, today, I worry specifically about educational spaces, because in those spaces, we are supposed to experience challenge. The process of learning is not always supposed to be linear. There are supposed to be challenges sometimes, and that is the work of learning, is being able to look at a text, for example, and fill in what is not explicitly stated. And I feel like we are going to lose that capability.
For me personally, I deeply have a deep distrust of AI. AI is environmentally destroying our world. I think we're not understanding or grasping the impacts that AI is going to have, along with the fact that people just aren't going to know shit because they spent all of their years of undergrad using AI to get through everything. And I can kind of see it if you're in a job field and you've learned all of this information and you're using AI to expedite a process. We can't ask questions like, why is our environment being absolutely decimated because all these large corporations don't give a fuck about the environment? They're not using this AI to make your life easier. They are trying to train it to make it better.
We also have to consider the other consequences of AI use, such as the fact that anything we are getting for free, we're not actually getting for free, and we don't yet know what will come of all of our data being pulled. But if history tells us anything, when a corporation says, hey, here's this thing, doesn't always go well.
Money talks, even for those who are simply implementing the technology itself. The premise of big data was that you could unearth hidden innovation, business value, customer insights, and market patterns from data that was simply too overwhelming for a human to digest and analyze. These days, everyone has seemingly forgotten about big data's failed promises. But the current premise of AI is even more confusing. The new narrative is that data is inherently too complex. It's just that humans can't pull it out. Instead, our only solution is to trust these artificial models, where only a few people have a true understanding of what's really happening under the hood. We should be told the answers and not seek it ourselves. And we should value the digestibility and presentation above the accuracy of information itself.
What is even to come? I said to someone recently, I feel like we're headed toward a point where it's State of New York sponsored by OpenAI, the state of California sponsored by Walmart. What's to stop them at this point? I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. I am personally of the mind that I begrudge a bit that AI even exists, that this is something that we are starting to use as a society, that we are leaning into. I have both been in academic spaces at this point and professional spaces. It's a headline. It's a hot topic. Everybody wants to talk about it and figure out how to implement it and to quote unquote make our jobs easier and to simplify processes. I just feel like it's a tool that discourages people from the labor of a task. Being able to organize is important. Being able to structure things is important. Learning to critically think is important. And being able to do that if your computer dies is important. Being able to do that if the Wi-Fi goes out is important. And I do think that sometimes the labor of a task is important. And I just feel like at some point in the future, generations ahead of us are going to be like, oh, man, yeah, we really fucked up with implementing technology into every space possible at every level possible. There's also the concern of how reliable AI itself is. So even if a student has used AI to help them complete an assignment and they turn that assignment in, and then the instructor in turn also uses AI to evaluate whether that student's work was used creating AI, it's like, okay, so when is there a human interacting? Are we entering a future space where it's just like computers just talking to each other and we truly are never actually engaging with the thing? I just don't love it. Well, I paid for my student loans, so you need to pay for yours. I hope I'm not coming off like from that sentiment. For me, it's more of being able to exist in the world among people. Our lives can look very different. And like, what if one day, future generations from now, what do they say? The grid busts or something. You can't use the internet. Then what? There's also the creativity of it all. And the fact that a lot of creatives and artists are having their work replicated and or stolen.
I want you to look at the ice cubes in the top and bottom right corner. For an artist, they have to pay attention and take seriously every single little bit of their work, every single corner. You can't neglect a corner just because it's in the corner. AI, on the other hand, loses details in the supporting elements. The more people use AI image generators, the smarter they get, the harder it's going to be able to tell.
I just feel like even being like, yeah, we need legislation about AI, but then it's also like people can't feed their families. So like, shouldn't that be more pertinent? And I just feel like we don't yet know what the repercussions of this will truly be.
Above all else, resorting to sloppy AI-generated voiceovers with minimal analysis and no heart. The video represented something I've been seeing creeping its way into the true crime genre on YouTube. True crime case files is described as mimicking well-known content creators such as JCS and Explore With Us. Importantly, is completely AI-generated. Everything is AI-generated.
There is a sentiment that many people are being academically dishonest. It feels like a lot of people are using certain online tools. As someone who has been a teacher, been a graduate student multiple times, works at a university, not everyone is using AI. Not everyone is being academically dishonest. And also, I just want to say to students out there, if you're paying to be in a place or you're getting loans, learn the knowledge. like have the experience, gain the information that you have access to.
I learned a lesson. Never half-ass two things. Whole-ass one thing.
What does this mean for the future? Like, I'm not trying to be a doomsdayist, but literally if, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Do you think AI is here to stay, or do you think it's just another one of those short-lived technological booms? Do you have any concerns about AI? Yeah, just let me know your thoughts down below. I really appreciate you watching. We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers, so be sure to hit that like button and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Dear Professor Morgan, I didn't hit save. Oh, please, can I have an extension?